Hi, and welcome to another episode of Hot Takes with me, the Silver Fox. Humza Yousaf is rather annoyed because there's a police probe going on about all the shenanigans in the SNP. I would have thought ashamed would have been a better adjective. If he's annoyed at it, why is he annoyed? Does he not like the fact that there has been potential wrongdoing and that it should be rooted out? Is he annoyed that perpetrators may actually be called to book and prosecuted? Is that what's annoying him? Or is he just annoyed at the fact that he is no longer able to continue the good work of ripping off the Scottish people and feathering his own nest, as it appears others have? What is the cause of this annoyance? And should we be annoyed with him for even expressing this view? Let's look at this article. So Humza Yousaf moans about the SNP police probe as he labels it bloody annoying. Operation Branchform has already seen the arrest of Peter Murrell and Colin Beattie, with Police Scotland continuing its inquiries. Well, you can't have it both ways, mate. You can't sit there and complain that you know nothing about what's going on and then moan that someone is actually investigating what's going on. Make your mind up. It's as simple as that. Do you want it investigated or not? Well, we know you really don't want it investigated. You wanted it sort of brushed under the carpet and forgotten about and carry on with all the fun and palaver of leading a party. But there's no fun and certainly very little palaver at the moment because you are under the spotlight as much as anyone else because you're so closely aligned. So Humza Yousaf has branded Police Scotland's investigation of SNP finances bloody annoying. The Nats are currently in the spotlight due to Operation Branchform, which is probing fraud claims relating to $600,000 raised for referendum campaigning, as we know. Now, there's going to be a lot of regurgitation in this, and we'll just blanch over most of it as quickly as we can. Murrell and Beattie have been arrested, released, further probes, blah, blah, blah. But there is much speculation Miss Sturgeon could be the next to face questions from detectives. The real speculation here must be why she hasn't already been questioned by detectives. Another real question that needs to be asked and needs to be part of an investigation into the police investigation is why all three whose names were on those accounts weren't arrested and questioned at the same time, not giving them time to get their story straight. There should have been a swooping. They should have gone straight in the house and had 1, 2, 3 of them, bang, arrested, 3 separate rooms, 3 separate police stations, 3 separate sets of detectives asking questions left, right and centre and not releasing them until they were completely satisfied that they'd got everything down under caution, so there could be no claims of lying later. That needs to be investigated at the very least. The arrests have coincided with further revelations about party finances. Both the main party and the Westminster Group are conducting desperate search for auditors to meet deadlines, which they now apparently have. Even now, though, there are questions about these auditors, questions about the suitability and the fitness to actually do the job. They are a small firm based in Manchester. They've never dealt with anything like this before. And so there are already questions being asked of whether these people are the appropriate auditors for the job. You need someone big and experienced to do it. They are a small company who've pitched for it because money for nothing. But it could end up costing them a lot more. Speaking to the Daily Record, the SNP leader said, "I'm certainly not going to deny it has been a bloody frustrating to have to deal with these issues, but it certainly won't distract me from the job as First Minister." Oh, have you been doing that job, have you? Nobody's noticed. Nothing's happened. You've continued in the same vein as you have at every other ministry you've had, in that things are constantly going wrong. So why should this be any different? Asked if he believed there'd been any criminality, he added, "I must avoid, of course, commenting on a live police investigation. Phew," he says, thinking I can get away with that a little bit longer. But then there will come a point where there isn't a live police investigation and he must answer the question, and he won't have that excuse. But I'm sure he'll find another one. He won't want to speak ill of his mistress. She gave him a sock, Dobby is now free. Genuinely, for very good reasons, the First Minister shouldn't look to be seen to prejudice any police investigation. I certainly can tell you, as things are now where I'm the leader, we're not operating in a criminal way. Well, he would say that, wouldn't he? And I suspect they actually still are. Maybe he doesn't know it, but I suspect that there is still criminality riven all the way through the SNP. Mr. Yousaf also confirmed he still hadn't spoken to Miss Sturgeon about the situation, despite being a close ally. You remember how he was going to be the first phone call will be at Sturgeon, how he's going to closely align and work with her and have her mentor him in the role. All that bullshit during the election campaign. Well, me arse. Of course he is. He is the glove puppet. He might not be phoning her, but you can guarantee she will be contacting him. He is her last Horcrux. He is all she has now. She was back last week for her first full week, and we will get the chance, and we'll speak, I hope, in relatively short order. Oh, I bet she's distancing. You know, she don't want to speak on the record. She don't want to be speaking to him there. She'd be having bloody seances, but she is contacting him, but just not out in public. Because she doesn't want to pull anything into her now. She needs to distance herself from everybody because she knows everyone she talks to will be potentially the witness for the prosecution, even Humza Yousaf. So anything that we go through, you can guarantee it'll be on some kind of chat device that will not allow any records to be kept. It'll be secure as hell. There's no way that they will have any written records of what they're saying, that's for sure. It comes as Mr. Yousaf was pressed to reveal exactly what he knows about the party's finances. Well, to be fair, if he knows as much about them as he knows about everything else, he knows nothing. But no, of course he does. He is involved. He's been involved from day one. And so he will be aware. He will have been made aware. And he has questions to answer, whether he's able to answer them or not. And I don't mean as in, oh, well, I'm not able to answer them, when you actually are. What I mean is he's not intellectually able to answer them. I think that's the problem he's going to have. He'll be asked a question and he won't know what it even means. Strange words. I don't know what those words mean, you know. Scottish Tory leader Douglas Ross insisted that legitimate questions must be addressed. He added, these questions are not going away for the First Minister and SNP leader, who recently had to step in as the SNP's acting treasurer. So he's had his little grubby hands on the books. He must have seen them. He said he cannot stick his fingers in his ears and claim that this is not a matter for his government, as well as his party, especially if the SNP were to face bankruptcy or an imminent threat to their viability. This is clearly also a government matter if the First Minister is compromised, his hands are tied, or if he has been kept in the dark about his party's affairs, as was the case with the resignation of the SNP's auditors. Right now, the real priorities of Scotland are being ignored by him and the SNP government because they are distracted by a meltdown in the party. And this is what's happening. No business of government is proceeding because everything is focused on what is happening in the SNP. Proper decisions of state are not being made because the SNP MPs and committees and things like this are running scared. They don't want to commit. They don't want to be picking partisan sides at a time when they know the party is riven and that this man, Humza Yousaf, his days are already numbered. He is a dead duck leader. He has no authority within the party. He's leader in name only. And there will be a division. There will be a challenge. And it won't be long. And I think that today's events in question time won't have helped. I don't know if anyone saw that. But he was attacked by all sides again. He was ridiculed. He was hounded. The Labour were all hooting at him and things like this. This is a man standing in a room being hooted at because he won't answer questions or can't answer questions. It isn't good. It's not good look for the party. And again, they're still hemorrhaging everything. Authority, money, votes, everything. TikTok. The time is running out for this man. Anyway, I shall round off there and come up. Yes, so well, he's annoyed. I think a lot of people in Scotland are annoyed, but for different reasons. They're annoyed that they can't get into a hospital. They can't see a doctor. They can't get a ferry across to the mainland. They're annoyed at the drug problem. They're annoyed at the youth problem. They're annoyed at the lack of social care. They're annoyed with the cost of living. They're annoyed with the economy generally. They're probably annoyed about fishing rights and the rise in income tax. There's lots of things to be annoyed in Scotland about, all of which are the cause of the SNP. And yet he, as leader of that party, is annoyed because the police are investigating crime. Goes to show where his priorities lie, doesn't it? Maybe he wants to be part of that cabal. Maybe he wants to have his fingers in the till. Maybe he wants to be rich like all the others are. Well, he is kind of well off, privately educated, trying to put his daughter into an exclusive little kindergarten. He doesn't live anywhere near the constituency because it isn't a good enough constituency for a good enough area for a fella like him. He had to move to a rather well-appointed area a long way away. He doesn't live in the real world, does he? He doesn't know what his policies do to people. He's protected. He's in his bubble. Well, sod him. Let's hope he's annoyed, and worse. Let's hope he actually gets up to miffed, or possibly even put out before the end of the week. Put out, of course, is not a metaphor. I would like to see him put out of power, but I meant put out as in annoyed. But hey, you know, the more I think about it. Anyway, he's such a dick. He's annoyed that the police are investigating. I shall stop now because he will just annoy me. Thank you very much for watching. If you like what you hear and see on the channel, please hit that subscribe button, ring the bell, leave a like, share and share this video a lot. But also definitely leave a like. It really helps with the metrics. It's the one that pushes it. Until next time, stay safe, stay well, don't get annoyed. It doesn't do you any good. And goodbye.